Over the last 250 years, the world of Scotch whisky has seen some dramatic changes. In the mid-18th century, the industry was largely based in remote farmland areas of Scotland. But after the Excise Act of 1823, more whisky makers became legal and licensed and began to form distilleries like those we know today. 7 years later, Irishman Aeneas Coffey patented his famous still and changed whisky production forever. Armed with this new technology, the first commercial blended Scotch was released in 1859. In the 1860s, the French brandy industry collapsed and a huge gap appeared in the global market. Together with the expansion of the Scottish Railway, that gap allowed the whisky industry to grow rapidly. Within 15 years, whisky was the world's #1 exported brown spirit. Scotch had evolved from a farmhouse industry to a global business. The end of the 19th century saw a construction boom. 33 new distilleries were created in Speyside alone. But smaller pre-industrial distilleries struggled to compete and many had to close. By the start of World War I, whisky faced a series of steep tax increases and, for the first time, a compulsory ageing period. That period increased to 3 years the following year, and distilleries were shut down for the remainder of the war. There was also talk of prohibition. It didn't happen in the UK, but when it hit the US, it had a major impact. Exports dropped and duty increased again, and many distilleries closed for good. Things got worse throughout the 1920s, and after the Wall Street crash, UK whisky consumption halved, the industry shrank, and many more distilleries were lost or made part of larger groups, then forgotten. More whisky was lost during World War II, when the remaining distilleries were shut down until 1945. As an essential foodstuff, barley was also rationed well into the 1950s. Events like these had dramatic consequences for the whisky industry and caused many of Scotland's traditional distilleries to close their doors. For years, their whisky-making secrets were lost to the world. Until now, the Lost Distillery Company. Lost whisky brands, reinterpreted.